By the end of this video, you'll have a checklist that tells you instantly, this is a dynamic programming problem and a fixed plan to attack it. So a problem you've never seen before stops being scary. Let's start with the tells. The signals that whisper, this might be DP. First, look at what the problem is asking for. It wants either an optimum, a minimum, a maximum, the longest or the shortest, or a count of ways, or a feasibility answer, can we reach, partition, or make something. Second, you make a sequence of choices, and those choices are coupled. A choice now changes what's available later. That coupling is exactly why greedy feels risky, or just gives wrong answers. Third, the full answer can be built from answers to smaller overlapping subproblems. The same little problem keeps showing up again and again. And fourth, the constraints are DP-sized, brute force is exponential and far too slow. But the number of distinct states is only polynomial, like n up to a few thousand, or an n by m grid. There are even keyword tells to watch for: number of ways, minimum or maximum cost, longest or shortest, can you partition or reach, subsequence or subset, grid paths, at most k. Not guaranteed, but a strong hint. Now, just as important, when is it not DP? 3 disqualifiers. 1. If a provably correct greedy exists, like activity selection, then use greedy. It's simpler. Don't reach for DP when you don't need it. 2. If the subproblems don't overlap, it's just plain divide and conquer. No memo table needed. 3. If there's no optimal substructure, like the longest simple path in a general graph, then DP doesn't directly apply. Okay? You've recognized it's DP. Now here's the attack plan. 5 steps that tie everything together. Step 1. Write the brute force recursion. Just try all the choices. If you can't write this, you don't yet understand the problem. Step 2. Read off state from the changing arguments of that recursion. The things that vary between calls, that's your state. Step 3. Spot the overlapping subproblems in the recursion tree. When the same state appears twice, that's what justifies DP. Step 4. Climb the ladder. Memoize, then tabulate, then space optimize, from top-down recursion to a tight bottom-up table. And step 5. State the complexity. Always as states times the cost of one transition. Let's run the checklist on a real problem, just to recognize it. We won't fully solve it yet. Given coin denominations, count the number of ways to make an amount x. Run the checklist. It asks for a count of ways. Check. The choices are coupled. Which coins you commit to? Check. There are overlaps. The same remaining amount is reached through many coin orders? Check. And the constraints are DP sized? Check. So it's DP. Now define the state in words. F of I, amount equals the number of ways to make amount, using coins 0 through I. That's it. We're only declaring the shape here, not solving it yet. And that's the point. The checklist plus a clean state definition gets you to a plan in under a minute, before you write a single line of real logic. Here's the mindset this whole series is training. The goal is not to memorize 50 solutions. It's to run this procedure on an unseen problem. So from here on, for every episode, pause, try to derive the recurrence yourself, and then watch the solution. That's how recognition becomes automatic. We now have all 4 foundations: the concepts, the method, the state skill, and this recognition checklist. Starting the next module, we apply all 4 to real problems, beginning with the simplest one-dimensional DP climbing stairs. See you there.